Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? Another unscheduled video. I've been doing a lot of those lately. I got some bangers on the way. I got a lot of scheduled videos on the way. These unscheduled videos are kind of like fillers, but you know, nevertheless, let's go in. My thoughts on compatibility. Uh, well, for most people, when they think of being compatible with somebody, it's you want the right match for you. But a lot of people misunderstand what true compatibility is. What if I were to tell you that compatibility is not about having the right match for you at all? It's about matching with the right individual. So matching is an action, it's a verb, it is not a noun. So think of compatibility uh, as something you do, not something that you just are. It can be something that you can become based on your actions. What are these actions? Okay. Um, One of these actions is complimenting, how you compliment each other. But in essence, what the compliment means is that the way you correspond with that other individual or object seamlessly. So the best way I can describe that is through this act of reciprocation. I hear that term being thrown around a lot, and I'm actually glad. I'm actually very glad people are starting to talk more about reciprocation, reciprocity, because that's really the key. Because reciprocity is also like love. You know what I'm saying? As far as that is a reflection of an action on your part. An act of your devotion, your commitment, things like that. So, in essence, when you are becoming compatible with someone, you're reflecting your actions of complimenting that individual via reciprocation. You understand reciprocity. Y'all two may not have anything alike, you know. Sometimes it's not just about opposites attract. Sometimes it's about opposites interacting. How y'all able to make that chain reaction happen. Sometimes apples and oranges do go together to make fruit punch. Think about that. Y'all don't have to have everything alike, but y'all can like each other enough to where y'all gonna make it work. You know what? You may not have a lot in common, but we gonna have a commonality. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like in a survival mode. You know what I'm saying? You see that a lot amongst the landscape of interracial dating, perhaps, depending on where your views at on that. It could have been a sense, and what I mean by this is not because you chose to be with someone of another color. It's just maybe at the time where you lived, there weren't other people of your skin color, but you saw this person as someone that loves you regardless of their skin color. That's an act of survival right there in itself. Okay. But y'all made that work. Y'all found ways to have some commonality, even if y'all did not have anything in common. Y'all came from two different sides of the not only color spectrum, but maybe even cultural spectrum. Y'all could have also came from two different sides of the global spectrum. So there's a lot to say about that too. What could reflect true compatibility? It's not that y'all were alike, y'all thought alike, y'all acted alike, but y'all decided to like each other. Y'all became like-minded. There were things about y'all too that y'all were just willing to grow upon each other. It wasn't about getting to know. It was about growing to know. You know what I'm saying? Growing to the knowledge of each other. I don't hear a lot of people talk like that, right? So this all to me represents in a nutshell what true compatibility is. So when you got somebody that may try to come at you all sideways talking about I don't think it's going to work between us, we're not compatible, what they're really saying is that they don't want to become compatible with you, because it's not that you are necessarily compatible with a person in the first place. That's something that's going to take effort. That's something that's going to take some reciprocity. That's something that's going to take you complimenting that other person in your own way. When a person says y'all not compatible, they just meaning they don't want to put forth the effort to try to have you two come together in many different ways. That's all that is. It's not that you as an individual have something wrong with you to where you can't really connect with other people. No, it's the other way around. That individual doesn't want to really stay connected with you in order to make this thing work. You know, they don't want to plug in with you in order to make the power surge occur, you know, to where y'all can charge each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, feedback on each other's energy, you know, true transmutations in different ways. So that all becomes toxic, you know, after so long. It just becomes truly toxic after so long. And yeah, it must be avoided. It must be avoided at all costs. So yeah, that's what you seek. You don't seek compatibility with an individual from the standpoint of just a noun. You want compatibility based on a verb, an action. You know what I'm saying? How can we make this work? How can we make our apples and oranges become fruit punch? Baby, I'm apples, you oranges, but we can make fruit punch. That's the kind of talk you want to have with somebody as far as compatibility is concerned. One thing I want to leave y'all with, though, is just this whole idea of counterpart, because you hear that term being thrown around too much. Once I start understanding the term counterpart, I realized how much I didn't really like the term counterpart, because it really means that an individual or an object is equal or equivalent to you or that thing. Now, coming from the realm of the masculine, talking about the feminine, there's no equality between the feminine and the masculine, between me and the woman. She is a weaker vessel. As it is written, you know, love a woman as unto a weaker vessel. The way she sculpted her body, she's a weaker vessel. You know, now, just to be unbiased, overall, you know, I believe that's what every woman should embody, is the fact that she's a weaker vessel. So what this should mean overall is that she should compliment me from her stance of her femininity. She should not think in her mind that her way of complimenting me is from the standpoint of making sure that she's matching my output or my wealth or my power or my capabilities as a man. You know, you got chicks out here that be like, you know, that man, he gotta match my greatness and my power as a woman, or he's got to be more powerful than me. No, sweetie, it's not about him being more powerful than you. You should be weaker because you are the weaker vessel. And that represents your femininity and your humility. And you complement that man with your femininity. Because in the form of the yin and the yang, you know what I'm saying, his yang has your yin within, which is very minimal. So it doesn't take much for a man to feel balanced. You know what I'm saying? And your yin has his yang within. So it shouldn't take much of his masculinity to have you balanced. But see, the problem with that is that you got a lot of females who aren't being real women. So you have men doing double the duty of not only balancing a lot of these females with their masculinity, but also trying to help them get back in tune with their femininity. So it's always a sigh of relief when a man actually runs into a woman that has her femininity truly intact. And what truly is this femininity then? What is it? To me, it's a realm of innocence, it's a realm of humility. It's not to say that this type of woman is without fault, but she acknowledges her faults. And she knows that regardless of that, she knows that she's in essence still a fragile thing. And maybe she has some doings as to why she is even more fragile now. And she must be even more thoughtful and considerate of her actions and behavior. And that alone keeps her still maintaining her femininity and restructuring it to incorporate the masculine in her life so that she can once more become compatible. And that in essence, that's what I have to say about compatibility.